Hello and welcome to the 32nd episode of the Backburners. I'm Dylan Sherman.
And I'm Sam Tiller. We want to thank you for lending your ears for another hour of non-stop sports entertainment.
I'm kind of back in the stewed.
No, not really. You're in outer space, actually.
I am. One small step for Sherm, one giant leap for this podcast.
Yes.
We also have My. I can see his knees.
Yay, My back.
How do my knees
Yay. Look? Your knees look good. Have you been working out a little bit?
I went climbing today. That's about it, though.
Got a good pump in.
The walk up the stairs. The walk up the stairs of the pod kind of got me losing my breath a little bit.
You got a good knee pump today?
Knee pump. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's good to see both of your knees and faces. We can't forget Fabio, of course, who is a tech wizard for allowing me to hear and see, which is great.
Always a blessing.
Always a blessing.
Because if it was up to us, there's no way we could have figured out that technology. I'm like a 75-year-old man when it comes to this crap.
No, I'm just as lost as you, amigo. Well, you know what? Let's stop dilly-dallying. Oh, is Chef in the house tonight?
No, Chef is not. This is the second week in a row that she has missed.
Wow.
I know. She's slacking hard.
Maybe she's just avoiding me.
Maybe.
Maybe she feels threatened by you, my mind.
Maybe she's sad and doesn't want to come because Sherm's not here and it's going to make her sad.
At least somebody misses me. Well, I mean, let's get right into it. The wonderful intern that we know and love, the champion of line of the week.
Yes.
Still not over that one.
Nope, me neither. I don't understand how it happened, really.
I mean, shame on both of us, really.
Yeah, I know. It's our podcast and we lose.
I know. And she had to pick multiple games in a row.
Yeah.
And she still beat us. Have we picked a prize? Are we going to reward her with something, or are we just going to say no?
Does she deserve a reward? Maybe like a salary?
I mean, if you want to pay her salary, I go right ahead.
I'm good. Thanks, though.
You're welcome. All right. Well, so we're going to recap the NFL here in a second, the weekend of the AFC and the NFC Championship, but we got some college hoops. Auburn is still at 1. Gonzaga still tearing ass at 2. UCLA is up to 3. We got Arizona at 7. Kentucky jumped all the way up to 5. Duke stayed at 9. Kansas falls to 10. It was kind of a wild weekend for college hoops.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it, unfortunately. I was a little focused in on soccer and football.
Do you want to take? You want to cover the USMNT?
Yeah. So let's see. They had a game last Thursday against El Salvador, and it was a 1-0 win. It was a good win. It was a win that they had to get and that they were expected to get. It wasn't pretty though. It was a classic World Cup qualifier, and then the big one was this weekend on Sunday. And they were going up to Canada, and it was cold, and the pitch was artificial. It was 68 yards wide, which is very narrow for a soccer game, and they got down early and just couldn't bounce back, and it was really disappointing. But then they had a must-win game tonight. It just went final 3-0 against Honduras. It's big. There is still a chance that they do not qualify, but if they just do what they've been doing the whole qualifying session, then there shouldn't be anything to worry about. But if you have followed U.S. men's national soccer for any kind of time, you understand that nothing is for certain with this team. And the last window, which is in March, is going to be nerve-wracking to say the least, because we have to play in Mexico, which is always extremely difficult. We have to play Panama at home, and they are playing very good soccer right now. They're going to be tough to beat, and then we have to go to Costa Rica, a place that historically the U.S. has not done well. So they need 3 points out of that window to lock in their ticket to Qatar, to the World Cup in November. And I'm hoping and praying to God that they do. And if they don't, it would be one of the biggest letdowns in modern American sports.
For someone that has no idea about the rules of soccer, like myself, or neither do I care, but can you explain to me what a pitch is?
It's the field.
You said it was narrow, so is that the width, the length?
The width, yeah. So soccer fields don't have a standardized size.
Interesting.
It's kind of like ballparks, right? But not every single baseball field is the same size.
So every different field has a different pitch, and that's the width of the field.
Yeah, like the reason Wimbledon is such an iconic stadium is because it's the biggest soccer pitch in the world.
Okay.
So it just spread, like, obviously the narrower the field, the more condensed the game gets, the more compact the spaces are. But if you widen out the field, it just creates a lot more creativity, essentially. So I personally like bigger fields because it creates more entertaining soccer, more open spaces, more chances for creativity. Because it is, I mean, for somebody who doesn't watch soccer and isn't into soccer, a lot of people look at it and go, it's boring because, like, nothing happens. There's no scoring. But it's called the beautiful game for a reason. If you enjoy it, you understand the movements of the players and, like, the positions they get in and, like, when they play the ball that they're supposed to, or, like, it's a very entertaining game if you understand the intricacies of it. And I think a wider pitch makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I did not know that. That is interesting. Probably still not going to watch, but
I hate you.
Boring.
Okay, I think we have our special guest ready. Are you ready for them?
I'm ready.
Okay.
We are very lucky tonight. Do you want to introduce? Go right ahead. Introduce who we have on tonight.
I have to let them into the Zoom call, so you go.
Okay.
I can do it.
Well,
I can do it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Maybe just introduce them and then we'll let them in right after.
Okay. So tonight we're having a very special guest on, and you may have noticed in the beginning of the show, we did not have an ad read. And that's because we are having the creators of the Chillo app on our podcast to talk about their platform and kind of just introduce it and talk to us about how they got the idea and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, let's bring on Chillo.
Woo!
Round of applause. What'd you say, Trav? Oh, perfect. Thank you. We got to wait for the technical stuff to come online.
I'm trying to shut the Chillo shirt here.
Oh, hello. There you are. I can see you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi.
How you doing, Alexis?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well. We're lucky to have you tonight.
Good. Yeah. Lucky to be here.
Well, yeah. Thank you for coming on. We would love to talk to you. And first of all, thank you for allowing us to be a sponsor, or for you sponsoring us.
Yes, thank you very much.
We're very lucky to have you.
Absolutely. Happy to be here and happy to sponsor you guys. You guys have a great podcast, so happy to be a part of it.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You. So yeah, just give us a quick kind of summary of Chillo for people who don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chillo is a mobile app. It's available on iOS. So if you have an iPhone, you can download it in the App Store. And it's for people to find credible roommates and also places to live. And so, whether you're a college student or young professional, you're looking for that new roommate, or really looking maybe even to potentially sublet one of your rooms, whatever it may be. We are partnering with BSU, and we're partnered with 11 different apartment complexes here in the Valley. So we've got tons of exclusive offers and are happy to, have you guys download us, and whoever's looking for a roommate or, trying to find a new place to live.
What's funny is, so us three all used to live together. I just moved. So I actually need to sublet my place for a little bit. So this is kind of perfect.
That you do.
Yeah, that you do. Yeah, this would be absolutely perfect. You can go on there, post a place. It gives you the option to post a full house, apartment, condo, or of course, a bedroom.
Very cool. So how did you guys come up with this idea? Were you just like Tinder is such a massive hit that we need to get Tinder for roommates. Was that kind of the idea behind it a little bit?
Gosh, I wish it was that eloquent. No, it was a disastrous roommate scenario of which I'm sure we've all had.
Oh, yes.
At one point in time in our life, back in San Francisco, where me and my husband are from, our very first roommate experience there was horrific. So ultimately, our roommate at the time took our portion of the rent money and went to Las Vegas, Nevada, gambled it, lost it. And 10 days later, we came home from a vacation to a big red eviction notice hanging on the door.
Wow, that's way worse than any roommate story I have. So
we thought that we had it bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, turns out them leaving the dishes on the counter isn't so bad when you hear our story, right?
No kidding.
Oh my
Good
goodness.
Lord.
Yeah. And then unfortunately, just a slew of unfortunate, 10 years of roommates later, just a slew of, a few good, some bad, some worse. And we just realized like, what on earth is going on? One of our novelties at Chillo, which is pretty cool too. So one thing that makes us unique is that you can actually go and endorse former roommates. So yeah, and then you kind of get to see kind of in a LinkedIn Yelp-like fashion, you get to go see what it was like for someone else to live with you before, signing that lease, in hopes of getting in front of terminated leases and the heartache of having to part ways because you just, probably were never a match from the get-go. So you actually get the opportunity to request endorsements of how it was like to live with one another, as well as give them freely on the app.
What I really like about the app, I'm just, kind of playing through it, is that you have a background check. And I think that's massive for somebody who's coming into your living space, because we've all heard the stories of, hey, my friend of a friend is looking for a spot, or people who just sublet, based off somebody they met on, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever it is. So I love that the idea of having a background check and making sure that the person you're bringing in is safe and legit, because I'm sure we all have horror stories, or some of us do at least.
Absolutely. And kind of like what you alluded to with Tinder and everybody being online these days, it's like people are using fake pictures, fake profiles, right? And so you get the option to do a background check to tie it, once it clears, you get a cleared background check badge that's associated with your profile that the general public can see. They don't get to see your background necessarily, but what they do get to see is a cleared background badge. And the same goes for ID verifications as well. So actually saying, hey, this selfie matches up with this person's driver's license and they are who they say they are.
That is very, very cool. I did not know that about the app.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Talk to us about Catch Idaho. I know, you were donating $1 for every download. So yeah, what kind of gave you the inspiration for that?
Yeah, our efforts in fighting homelessness, we just felt like it was a good partnership and alignment. Catch is near and dear to our hearts here locally, and we wanted to get involved at a local level, of course. And Catch was just the right nonprofit to do that, right? And so actually this month we are donating a check of $100 because we did have 100 downloads this last month. 600 downloads over the course since we've launched in just, as recent as of October. And this month we will be dropping off a check here in the next week or so of $100 donation. So we do a donation every month based on downloads. So if you're listening and, you're already looking for a place to live, or you're already looking for a roommate, you want to continue to fight and end homelessness here in your local community, $1 spent on our behalf is $1 download, or follow on Instagram, which of course you can find us at Chillo app, either there or Facebook.
Very cool.
That's great to hear.
So you guys are just based in Boise right now. Is that correct?
We are. Our headquarters are here in Boise. We have actually launched a market in Washington. We're partnered with 4 different complexes there. And they are great partners with us. The Quarry, there's a few other different complexes, and we're talking to Washington State as well. However, no matter where you're at in the country, you can actually download Chillo with an iPhone and use it.
Very cool.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask kind of what's next, but that kind of answered my question.
Yeah, it's just going to be continuing to grow. The next market we're going to push to launch in after we continue to make headway here in Washington is going to be San Francisco, kind of where, our ultimate home base was. The beauty of Chillo, I should definitely mention, is it's free. So it's free to use, it's free to download, there's no subscription involved. And I do think that's why we've had so much traction so quickly. It gamifies the user's experience, similar to like a Tinder. You get to swipe left and right and connect, chat within the portal, etc. So it's always secure and safe. And it's been a pretty fun ride. But yeah, it's only upwards from here. So just going to continue to expand. And the next market we'll do a heavy push in will be the city, San Francisco.
Very nice. What brought you to the podcast world? Why go through podcasts?
I think you guys have a great user or following, I should say, podcast listeners. And eventually we'd like to kind of work on our own, kind of get West world, supporting other local podcasts, of course, in the meantime. And I think it's just a pretty cool endeavor.
I think a roommate podcast would be great because it's such a relatable subject and everybody's had a horrible roommate story. Yeah, that I 100%, I'm behind it.
Yeah. If you guys know anybody or you guys alike want to share your stories, we're kind of gathering up some stories right now. Gosh, what we're hearing is pretty crazy. So we're excited.
Oh, we have plenty of source material.
Yes.
from one particular ex-roommate.
Who hopefully is not on this call.
No.
He's long gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. Well, gosh, I know who's my first people on the podcast will have to be.
Oh,
we're in. We're in.
Yes. Is that an official invite?
I think that is an official invite.
Okay.
Where do we sign?
Where do we sign? I love
Where's
it.
Where's the lease?
Gosh, I know it. Well, I'm sure you guys have. How many roommates have you guys had?
Including the ones that I had freshman year in the dorms, I've had a total of like 8 or 9.
Okay.
So a decent amount.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I would say I'm right about the same.
Yeah. I've got you beat. I'm about 20, but I also came from I know, pretty high rate. I'm also I've got a few years on you, though I'm lying. I lie about it. But also too, San Francisco, you know what I mean? Like just to live in San Francisco, you got to have, when you're in your early 20s, it's like 3 roommates minimum. So
right.
It helped me rack them up. That's for sure.
Well, you're also looking at a great roommate success story because Sam and I lived together for 5.5 years.
Nice.
We're almost legally married.
I was going to say, you guys could be dependent, or what is it called?
Domestic
yeah, something like that.
Partners.
Yeah. And then he decided to just pack up his life and move to Texas. So we were unfortunately very close, but we didn't quite get there. We didn't quite get to the 7 that is required.
For tax purposes, it would have been such a beauty.
I know.
God. We didn't even have a divorce party.
Oh, nothing to celebrate there. It sounds like it was amicable, but it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah. He's been gone for like a couple weeks, and it's been nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the truth comes out.
Yeah, once I got, yeah.
I know a great app where you can endorse some, not a problem.
I don't know if I'm willing going that far. Yeah.
He would never endorse me. Man. Well, Alexis, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing this story. We're so lucky to have you as a sponsor, and yeah, just thank you so much. We're glad we got to meet you.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you. And it's been a pleasure. We'll chat soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Chillo.
Round of applause for Chillo.
Ooh.
Very nice. Okay. Should we keep going?
Absolutely. We have a new segment, sort of, kind of.
Not really.
Nah, yeah. We're calling it WTF happened in the wide world of sports.
I think we did this in the very first episode, and then we came up with mom spaghetti, but we decided to just clump the mom spaghetti together.
Mm-hmm.
Sherman, was that some wine?
It is wine.
Big wine guy now.
I'm
a BWG. Well, I mean, would you like to kick it off, my friend?
Yeah, I'm going to start at the bottom of the list here and just go straight into the formerly known football team.
Redskins.
Yes, formerly Redskins, formerly now football team, the Washington Commanders. Congratulations on picking the worst name possible, and by far, I think it's worse than the Browns. I think the Browns have held the crown for worst NFL mascot forever, and it is now the Commanders. I hate it. It is a horrendous name. I don't know why they chose that. It was the safest and the easiest choice, and leave it to Dan Schneider, one of the worst people in America, to come up with the worst name for his football team. What in the world is that? I hate it.
It's so hilariously on brand. They had so many good names. Let me hold on here.
And it took them 2 years.
Yeah.
And they come up with the Commanders?
Yeah, it's like, and they made such a big deal out of it. Oh, 2-2-22. We're
like
dropping
the
our new
football team
name. And
better.
it's like, yeah, I heard that. A bunch of people are like, this sucks. Just go back to football team. Yeah.
Okay, so they were looking at, so I really liked the Defenders, but the problem was that the DC Defenders
That's a
was
soccer
the
team.
name of, I thought it was one of the XFL teams.
Oh,
I
it
think
could have been.
It was the XFL team, the DC Defenders. So I think that was a
Mm.
problem there. I also really liked Red Wolves.
Yeah.
Or what was the one we were talking about? The
Red Tails.
The Red Tails.
Yeah.
That was cool too. But they go with the Commanders. Let's see, the Presidents, the Brigade, the Red Hogs, or the football team, Armada, Defenders, Red Wolves. I mean, like, it's so on brand
All
with their
terrible
shitty
choices.
stadium.
I don't like
Yeah.
any of them.
They need a new stadium, and they also need better focus groups, because whatever focus groups approved these names, they're bad. They're really, really bad.
Should have done like a fan vote or something. Could have been way better.
Yeah, but I feel
yeah.
like they would have been trolled with just horrible, terrible names like the Washington Leaky Pipes.
Yeah, they would have got a lot of trolling for
But
that.
there would have been a lot of legit ones in there that are way better than the Commanders.
Yeah, probably.
It was flying around Twitter today that their name is the Commanders now, and their logo is red. So now they're the Commies. Which, like,
Oh my God.
so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just, yeah, it's just so on brand for Dan Snyder. It's, America's favorite scumbag. Well, him and Urban Meyer are tied for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They are two of the worst people in the NFL. So yeah, that's all I got to say about the Commanders. I hate it. I really do.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the AFC and the NFC Championship this past weekend. A couple of unbelievable games.
Yeah. Very good games.
Should we start with the AFC?
Yeah, start with the AFC.
What else is there to say? That was like it was unbelievable. So many ups and downs throughout. I mean, you have the Bengals battling an 18-point deficit, coming back. At one point it was 21-3, and
Yep.
there was no hope in sight. But then Joey put it on himself, brought the game back.
I did not like that
Joey
at
who?
Joey
all.
He's my new man crush, that Joey B.
Mm.
And when it gets to overtime, obviously a huge point of contention this offseason has been the overtime, playoff rules. The Chiefs get the ball, but Evan McPherson sending the Bengals to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's a stud, and he's like quickly like putting himself in the conversation for best kicker in the NFL, and he's a rookie. He's a stud.
Absolutely. It was so fun. That was such a fun game. And it was exactly, I think, what everybody wanted out of it.
Yeah, it was. And we don't have to see the two most annoying people in the planet at the Super Bowl dancing on the sidelines and spraying champagne on people. And I'm talking about Jackson and Brittany Mahomes. Those two people suck
I was
so
gonna ask
much.
you, but yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I hate them. So thank you for Joey B for not allowing them to go to Los Angeles because nobody wants to watch that.
America thanks you.
Yes. America wins when we don't have to watch Jackson Mahomes TikToks.
And okay, so let's get into the NFC then. This Super Bowl matchup is arguably one of the most likable matchups in history between quarterbacks, at least.
Okay, yeah.
Between quarterbacks.
True. And also, I think one of the most unlikely, I don't think a single person at the beginning of the postseason was like, this is who's going to be in the Super Bowl. I don't think Rams, Bengals, who could have predicted that? Nobody.
No. I mean, you kind of did.
I told you Bengals had a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I said right before the postseason started that the Bengals were going to win or go to the Super Bowl, but that was a hot take. That was me going out on a limb. I didn't actually believe it. They were playing good football, but best team in the NFC? I wasn't sure, but I guess they are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. Obviously, as a Seahawk, I don't like to see the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think in the past they have been nothing but a horrible, boring football team to watch, especially when Jared Goof was at the helm over there. But now they've, the emergence of Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, they are putting up some numbers, and they are genuinely kind of fun to watch now.
Yeah, and I've always been a Stafford fan. He's played the game the right way ever since he stepped foot in the NFL, and yeah, I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm glad that he's finally having some success in his career. I just hate that it's with the Rams because I just have this burning hatred for them.
I think Odell has gotten them as far as they are. I mean,
yeah.
He's opened it up. He's given Cooper Kupp more room. You can't just double team Cooper Kupp because you got Odell in there now. And, they've always had great wide receivers, but Robert Woods got hurt, and they needed someone to back him up. And I think getting Odell really got them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
And an unsung hero, OBJ's dad, because as soon as OBJ left the Browns, he was flaming Baker Mayfield and saying Baker was trash. And everyone's like, no, you're out of your mind. Your son is trash. And then he goes to the Rams and he's been balling. I mean, I think he hit 100 yards in that NFC Championship game for the first time since 2019.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield had everybody who's a football fan convinced that Odell was washed. And it's actually Baker.
It's always Baker.
Some more massive, the story that overtook the weekend, the strange situation with the GOAT retiring.
Yeah, that was bizarre because I was in class, I think it was Saturday that it came out, and I just looked at my phone after class and it was Tom Brady retired, and I was like, oh shit, this is huge. And then I get home and an hour later, it's no, he's not retired. It was just so bizarre. And when Adam Schefter reports something, it's true. He is 100% right 100% of the time. So it was just very bizarre, that whole progression of events, and then it ended up being true at the end.
Yeah, I was, just on my phone and saw the Bleacher Report that the notification came in, and I saw, Tom Brady retiring, and I went straight to his Instagram, straight to his Twitter, and he didn't put anything out. And then when you kind of clicked on the notification, it says per sources, and you're like, okay, so it's 90% official, but it's not 100%.
Yeah, but all those reports that come out first are always per source. And generally, Adam Schefter is the most reliable NFL insider there is. He's very good at what he does. And no matter how much of a goober he is, he's good. He's pretty good at his job. So when he says something, it's usually pretty right.
I mean, what is there to say? The GOAT is retired.
Thank God.
I mean, we both said last week that we didn't think he was going to retire.
I honestly did not.
And it's hard not to question if they went on to win a Super Bowl this year and he got another Super Bowl, would he have retired?
I think, yeah.
No matter what, he was going to retire this year.
Yeah, I think his decision would have stayed the same. I think he wanted to go out on a Super Bowl win. But yeah, I think if they won the Super Bowl, it would have been like 100% definite.
Easier decision.
Yeah, easier decision.
Yeah.
It was so weird too because I was heading to the driving range over here with a pal over here, and we were literally talking about Tom Brady, and I kept saying, no, he's got one more year, probably one more year, and he's done. And then the notification came like 20 minutes later. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm wrong about everything.
So you've already made buddies over there?
I have. I'm very personable and very social.
You are.
Okay.
We're being replaced.
I know I'm being replaced. We'll get into that here in a second.
I said we're being replaced.
Not everything's about you, God damn it.
Would you like to keep going there, pal?
Yeah, you put this next one in, and I didn't do my research today. I've been swamped, so.
All right. Well, so this has been nothing but big stories for the past week in the NFL. So a crazy report came out with the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores, who unanimously around the league was known as a great person, a great coach. He led the Dolphins to 7 straight wins this year.
Yeah, he did.
Somehow with Tua as his quarterback. He was a guy who was under the Belichick coaching tree for 10 years. Somebody who was really skilled at his job, I think. And he came out and sued the NFL, the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Broncos. And to sum it up, let's see. Where is it? So he accused all of them of, number one, sham interviews.
He got the Miami job, though. So, but the sham interviews not a sham interview.
The sham interviews were with the Giants and the Broncos.
Oh,
because I think it was this offseason. So it was sham interviews, incentivizing losses, and pressure to improperly recruit players. Now, the biggest one was there was an accusation that he made that the Dolphins owner it basically incentivized him to lose the games and said, hey, for every loss, I will give you $100,000. So basically to tank to get a better draft position.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. I'd do it.
It's a lot of money.
That's bad, but and people shit on teams for tanking, but teams tank on purpose. That's a known thing. So, I mean, I understand that guys want to be competitive and they don't want to lose, but if that's what your owner is telling you, I don't know. I don't have that big of a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously systematic ways to ensure that you have a good draft position. I think it was something that was added on as well, especially with the way that he got fired from Miami in such a strange way because he had back-to-back winning seasons with a shit roster.
Yeah, it seems like him and Tua don't get along. And the Dolphins decided to go with Tua instead of the head coach because they believe in Tua. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe they see something that we don't. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have to get too heavy into this, but one of the main allegations was sham interviews, and this kind of plays into the NFL's Rooney Rule, which is a rule that some agree with and some don't. And I think obviously that was a huge part of this. I think, what he was saying is that essentially the interviews with the Giants and the Broncos were sham interviews so that those two clubs can check off that they completed the Rooney Rule. Obviously we don't know anything yet. There's not any evidence yet. There's just been allegations. So we probably shouldn't get into it, but it was something obviously a huge allegation that he's making against the league and those teams.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to win. You can't sue a company like the NFL and expect to win. How I think this is going to end is eventually they'll just pay him off because they don't want to deal with it anymore, and they just want to make him shut up and go away. But you can't take on a corporation like the NFL. It's not possible. They have too much money. They have too many resources, and you're just one guy. Like, no way. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the resources to do this.
I don't think he's expecting to win. He just wants the money, like you said.
Yeah.
They're just going to pay him off, and he'll walk away after that.
They'll give him $10, $15 million, which is nothing to the NFL, and just be done with it.
Yeah.
That's how this is going to end.
And so here we go with some offseason speculation. Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers coming up short in the NFC Championship game. A lot of speculation on if Jimmy G is going to be retained, kind of depending on how they do the playoffs. What do we think? Do we think the Niners are going to stick with him for another year or give him another contract, or you think he's off?
I don't. I think he's gone. Because that report came out that like the Niners, his agent and Jimmy are working to get a trade together. So he's going to be traded somewhere that he wants to go. They're not just going to dump him. I think they owe him that. But I thought of this today. I think he's going to go to Vegas. Josh McDaniels just got hired, his former offensive coordinator with the Patriots. I don't know if they're going to keep Derek Carr. I think he's one of the quarterbacks in question this offseason about where he's going to be. I think Vegas. That's my number one pick right now for Jimmy G, would be Las Vegas. And I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot.
I didn't even think about that. Interesting, because, I mean, there's the Broncos, there's the Texans, maybe the Dolphins, maybe the Jets, but I don't think they would give up on Zach Wilson.
And who wants to go there? He's not going to want to go to the Jets.
Exactly. That's a horribly run organization. Where do you think he's going, Miles?
If I had to guess, I like your Raiders take. I think maybe the Broncos, though.
Okay.
Because I think Aaron Rodgers ends up staying, and Broncos need a quarterback, so I'm going to go Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Broncos too because of their defense, and they got a couple of young pass catchers with Jerry Jeudy and Noah Fant. But when you think about it, that means you have to play Justin Herbert twice a year. You got to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's all give and take.
Yeah, that is not an easy. Well, I mean, same thing with the Raiders. That it's just not an easy division.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there's no perfect 100% landing spot because they wouldn't. Why would they exist?
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers moves on from Green Bay, I could also see him going to Green Bay.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a whole nother.
Exactly.
We could make a whole podcast, a whole episode about Aaron Rodgers and speculating where he's going to go.
Exactly. We could speculate on what could be the most insane quarterback carousel we've ever seen in an NFL offseason for hours.
Well,
because also now, what's Tampa Bay going to do?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, they have Kyle Trask, who they drafted last year, but do they think he's ready? Do they want to sit him behind a veteran for a little longer? Derek Carr, Jimmy G to Tampa. I mean, there's just so much. It could be wild.
Here's a hot take. I'll save it.
Okay, you're gonna double down on hot take. Wow.
I'm gonna do two hot takes. Should we get into the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be a good game.
Go Bengals.
Who dey?
Look, I love the Bengals and I love Joey B, but I don't think it's gonna be a good game. I'll just say my hot take right now. I think Joe Burrow is gonna get sacked 10 plus times in that game. If the Titans can sack him 9 times, and they don't even have a great defense, then the Rams' defensive line is going to have a field day. Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, and Aaron Donald Are you kidding me? They're going to be all over him. I'm very worried that it's going to be a horrendous game because they're not going to be able to protect Burrow. And he's going to be under so much duress. He's going to be running for his life. I'm very worried that this game is going to suck.
I mean,
unless the Bengals run draws and screens.
Looking at the Titans game, though, yes, he got sacked eight times. Nine. But they still won that game.
Yeah, but like I said, the Titans don't have a good defense. So if he's under duress from the Rams offensive line, you have the best player in the NFL coming at you every single play in Aaron Donald. Yeah. And they have a fantastic secondary. So his guys aren't going to be able to get open. He's going to be under duress. This is a horrible matchup for the Bengals.
It's very possible they get smoked from that defense, but I want to see the Bengals win.
I do too, because fuck the Rams. But if I was going to bet on this game, I would hammer the Rams in a massive win.
I mean, I think, like I said before, I think that America is, I don't know. We've seen so many Super Bowl matchups with Tom Brady. We've seen him with the Rams before. We've seen the Rams versus the Patriots, which was horrible game. Arguably one of the worst Super Bowls and one of the most hated matchups. I mean, this game is headlined by two insanely likable dudes, which I think is a huge selling point for the league. They have a fresh face, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's going to be a nightmare for Joe Burrow. It's going to be a nightmare. But listen, I mean, if the Bengals defense can slow down the Rams a little bit, and look what they just did. The Bengals defense in the second half of the AFC Championship game, the unsung hero of that game.
Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable. If they can do half of what they did in that game in the Super Bowl, it'll be closer, way closer than probably you're thinking and probably the rest of the country is thinking.
Go Bengals.
We're gonna have to wait a week and a half to see.
Houday.
I'm on board with Houday, but I really don't see it happening.
All right. Shall we get into some hot takes?
Yeah. I already said mine.
All right, my, what do you got for a hot take?
I know you guys are going to absolutely love this one.
I'm just reading it now. That's
my hot take. I believe that the USC Trojans will make the college football playoffs next year.
Nope.
I do not think they're going to win, but they're going to make the playoffs.
Dude, they went 4-8 last year.
Have you seen their team? Caleb Williams.
Yes, because you have a new backfield does not mean that the entire team got better.
Yeah, it's
a new coach, an entire new coaching roster. It's a completely different team.
I don't think Lincoln Riley's a good coach.
Though. How could you possibly say that?
Because if you look at his progression at Oklahoma, the progression, it was a top tier program, and then it tailed off with him at the head. So and I've said this before on this show. I think he left Oklahoma to save his reputation of being an elite coach. Because if he stayed there, the program was going to continue to go downhill, and then he never would have been able to get another coaching job. So he left to a crappy program, and then if he can't build it back up, he'll just say, I wasn't able to get the resources.
That makes sense. I mean, he has the most talented team in the Pac-12 by far now.
That is so insane what you're saying.
Look at
Utah
the team.
is going to the playoffs next year.
Yes.
They're not stopping.
Utah
yes, they
is so good.
No.
Nobody is going to be able to move the ball against Utah's defense in the Pac-12 next year. That's a fact.
Except USC.
Nobody could move the ball on Utah this year, and they lost 2 starters. So they're older and they're more experienced. Utah is going to run the Pac-12 next year.
No, they're not.
Yes,
Aren't they returning their whole defense?
Yeah, they lost 2 starters, that Devin Lloyd guy and somebody else. And Devin Lloyd's a first-round draft pick.
I guess I know that I know that you're a USC homer.
Let me dream.
But let me lay the cards out for you. Your roster went 4-8 last year. You got a mediocre but flashy name head coach. Yes, you did get Travis Dye. Yes, you did get Caleb Williams. But just because you have a new backfield does not elevate the roster. And as of today,
that's not all I said. The entire coaches, all the coaches are new. Every single one.
As of today, guess who took home the highest rated recruiting class in the Pac-12?
I know who it is.
I know too. Do you want to say it together?
Yeah.
Do you want to say it together?
Yeah.
The University.
Do you just want to go on 3? 1,
okay, yeah.
2, 3. The Arizona Wildcats.
Wildcats.
I did not know that. That's insane.
And then Stanford was 2, and Utah was 3.
How about the transfer portal rankings?
They don't include that.
I'm including that. The USC Trojans.
Listen, here's the thing that I love the most about USC fans is that this was the same thing that happened when Matt Barkley came back for his senior year and they got out of the bowl ban for the whole Pete Carroll thing that happened there. When Matt Barkley was like, I'm coming back for my senior year, everybody was like, USC, and all the USC fans were just torqued. they were on one, and they're like, we're winning the Natty. It's not even going to be close. We're so good. And I
didn't claim the Natty.
And they were pre-ranked number 2 in the nation.
Playoffs.
Let me finish. They were pre-ranked number 2 in the nation going into that. They finished unranked. Okay, this happens every single time. There's always hype. There's always this sense of we're going to get back to our glory days. And then it falls flat on its face. And I love to see it year in and year out.
Well,
you said on this podcast, Keenan Slovis is winning the Heisman.
You're right.
Literally a couple months ago.
I did.
So that just proves my point that USC fans always build this hype up in their head.
Well, just let the team talk.
All right. We are letting the team talk, and the team said 4-8.
Is it safe to say that USC fans are the equivalent of Cowboy fans?
Yeah.
Because every year is their year.
Yeah. It's just like Texas. Every year is their year.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it every sports fan like that, though? They have their team. They have the hope for their team.
No,
this is the year. This is going to be the year.
I knew the Seahawks were not winning the Super Bowl this year.
But you had hope in the back somewhere.
No, I did not.
Yes,
No.
Not after week 2 when we blew like a 14-point lead to the Titans. I was like, yeah, this season's over.
Then you're just a bad fan.
No, I'm not. I'm a realist. I understand that I understood it was not a Super Bowl roster. And then Russell got hurt and it was like the season's over.
Okay, so I have 2 hot takes. I'm going to double down. So my first one, I'll do my real one that I just thought of. With Tom Brady retiring, the Bucs are going to go get Fitzmagic for a second term as the bridge because this year's draft class in quarterbacks is not as strong as it has been. He's going to be there for a year.
Oh, it's bold.
He's going to have 5 stellar games.
Oh,
and then he's going to do the Fitzmagic. There's a whole cycle of Fitzmagic where somebody else starts, they get hurt, he comes in, he lights it up for 5 games. And then he kind of reverts, and they're like, "All right, bring in the 3rd round rookie."
Yeah, or he gets hurt again.
Yeah, so that's my real one. And my second one is that I will be 100% replaced in this podcast by Miles.
Yep, this is actually your last show. So
yeah,
I was going to ask, is there a timeline? But Tiller just gave it to you. So.
Yeah, can I have at least like 5 minutes at the end just to say my goodbyes?
No.
Oh, okay, perfect.
We're just gonna end the Zoom. I don't know where you're getting this information. Like, who is your source? It wasn't me. It wasn't Miles.
No, it's just something that I thought of. You know, it was
because you couldn't come up with a sports hot take. You were like, oh, I'm just gonna cop out like the chicken burgers.
This is my
this is your hot take of chicken burgers.
No, in all honesty, I didn't look at the doc as closely as I should have today. And then when we were pulling up the Zoom and everything, I was like, oh shit, I forgot to do a hot take. There you go.
Oh man.
Would you like to introduce the next one, my friend?
Are you going to read the intern?
Oh, the intern. Ugh. Well, yeah. The intern's hot take is that JT Daniels should transfer to Texas A&M.
How many years of eligibility does he have left?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Was he at USC for a year or 2 years, Miles?
I believe it was a year. He came in and who got hurt and he started.
Okay,
I'm
so
forgetting.
okay,
And
so
then he transferred.
Then he transferred to Georgia. He's been there for 2, so he has 2 more years
2
of
years.
eligibility.
Why would he transfer? Is someone else?
Yeah, it's
Going there?
yeah, because
it's
they
Stetson.
named Stetson Bennett.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I actually this is not a terribly hot take.
No, it's not.
A&M just brought in the #1 recruiting class in the country.
Yeah, depending on what site you look at, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're in the top 5 on all sites.
Yeah, I mean,
What? Why would he stay? That's the bigger question. I don't see
Yeah.
a reason for him to stay at Georgia. He'd be wasting another year of eligibility.
and he already entered the portal. He already announced that he's transferring, correct?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he
I'd be surprised if he hadn't. I don't know. I just haven't kept up on
I
it really.
didn't see anything, but maybe.
I thought I saw that he entered the portal. Let's see. Yeah, he entered the portal 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Taking his time.
I could definitely see that. Staying in the SEC, going to, I mean, a team that was extremely highly ranked at the beginning of last year. They had a couple tough losses, but they did beat Bama.
They did.
They started slow, but they built big momentum at the end of the year. They were a pretty good football team by the end.
Should we get into most likely?
Yes, we shall.
My, kick it off.
Most likely. All right. My most likely. Who is most likely going to win Super Bowl MVP?
I'm going to go with Aaron Donald
Aaron Donald. I like that.
because, like I said, they're going to get pressure on him all day. I mean, he could have 3.5 sacks. Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to go Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was Aaron Donald. I think I would say Aaron Donald for the Rams, and if the Bengals win, it's going to be Joe Burrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Regardless. The intern. Here's a good one. The intern asks, "What color is the Gatorade most likely going to be at the end of the Super Bowl?" So I'll read you the odds right now. This is according to.
It's always yellow, isn't it?
No.
So according to OddsShark, right now orange is the favorite, followed by lime/green yellow, followed by clear, followed by blue, clear, like ice, like Gatorade water? Ice.
Interesting.
Like clear slash
water.
It says clear/water.
Interesting.
And that's followed by blue and red and purple. So right now orange is the favorite.
Do you think they kind of like hide the Gatorade bucket that they use? Like there's a designated one for after the game that's like locked up hidden, so like no one reveals what color it is? Because it can't just be the one like on the sideline that they're drinking out of.
Yeah, it is. I think the players just choose one at random.
You think?
Yeah,
there's
like they just go
specialized one.
Yeah, like there's just like 3 of them, and they're like, oh hey, let's go grab the Gatorade. Yeah, let's just go grab the Gatorade.
Who could manipulate the odds on this whole thing?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
some sort of staff member.
Can you bet on that after the game's already started?
I don't know.
Because what if you're like sitting?
It is a
what if
prop
you're sitting
bet, so
field
probably.
side and like you're looking over the thing and you're just like, okay, all the Gatorade here looks pretty blue. Like odds are they're gonna grab one of these ones.
Yeah, but the thing is like if let's say that somebody did that and they put a massive amount of money and they're like, okay, I just saw it, it's gonna be blue. If they want a massive amount of money, I bet you the feds would be knocking on their door and like, I don't know.
Well, it's like that that guy that streaked at the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a prop bet, and it was, is there going to be a streaker at the Super Bowl? And he put like $15,000 down on it, went to the Super Bowl, and streaked.
I mean, yeah, but he caught a case with that.
Yeah, he 100%
stuff. But it's still like he still came up. So it's like, I mean, yeah, if you want that on your record, I guess go for it.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a pretty like I'm pretty sure that's a pretty gnarly thing to have on your record because it's like public nudity and like
Oh yeah, big time.
children on live TV. If it got streamed on accident, it's like FAA regulations you're breaking or FCC, whatever it is.
Should have been smart about it and like went in on it with a friend.
Had his friend place the
Or
bet.
had a friend
His
place a
friend
bet.
placed the bet.
Yeah.
I think he did have his friends place a bet too.
The problem was he started gloating about it on freaking social media. If he would have just shut his mouth, I don't think anybody would have figured it out.
Yeah. Probably not.
Tiller, what do you got?
Who is most likely to have more fans at the Super Bowl? And I say this because the Super Bowl is in SoFi, where the Rams, it's their home stadium. Second Super Bowl in a row, we got a home team in the Super Bowl. But if we have learned anything from the Rams, it's that LA is not a strong fan base for the Rams or the Chargers. It seems like every single game that stadium gets overrun with away fans. I mean, Jesus, even in the NFC Championship, it was probably 60 to 70% Niner fans. So are Bengals fans gonna flood SoFi?
I mean, the Niner fans aren't that far.
True. But LA is such a melting pot of people moving
I
in.
understand that part for sure. I still think LA will overrun the stadium with fans.
I disagree. There were reports even before the NFC Championship game that there were going to be more Niner fans than Rams fans at SoFi. And given the fact that the Bengals haven't been to the Super Bowl in 300 years and the way they've gone about it and how they've kind of just taken the nation by storm, I'm predicting that Who Day is going to be all over SoFi. There's going to be a lot of orange, I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the entire city of Cincinnati is being shut down on Monday, so it's basically a vacation day for everybody. Yeah. I mean, they've already said that they're closing school that day. I'm sure a bunch of companies are going to give people the day off. Like, win or lose, like they're just saying you don't have to come into work that day.
Should be a holiday anyways, Super Bowl.
It should be.
Technically it's Valentine's Day now. So
I thought it was that weekend. It's
the
same day?
Well, okay, so
no,
the Super Bowl's
the day
the 13th.
before Valentine's Day.
And then Valentine's Day is the 14th. But I mean,
I see what you're saying.
Now there's this year there's going to be a debate in 10 11 months. Kids born at that time, were they Valentine's Day babies or were they Super Bowl babies?
Interesting. We should run a study.
We should.
I don't think you two are capable of running a study.
We are so capable. We're so capable.
Why? Because you're a salesman in Austin, Texas? Did you get your boots
yet?
No,
I have not gotten my boots yet.
God. All right, what's yours?
Anyways,
boots.
I know. I need to get on my new boot goofing. I'm waiting for my belt buckle. Okay. So from my most likely, who is most likely to have more receiving yards in the Super Bowl? Is it going to be Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase?
Cooper.
Jamar.
No. I'm sorry. And I look, I have to double down on this. I don't think the Bengals are going to be able to move the ball. So if they can't move the ball, Jamar Chase isn't going to have receiving yards. It's going to be Cooper Kupp.
I mean, it makes way more sense. I'm just saying what I want to hear.
Okay.
I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see the Bengals win, and I want to see Jamar Chase
All right.
ball.
I stick to my convictions though, and I'm sticking with the Rams, as much as I hate to do it.
Sherm, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I want the Bengals to win, but I mean, Tiller, I will give you a compliment. You have raised some good points. It's going to be extremely difficult for the Bengals to do what they've done all season in this game. I don't know if they played the Rams in the regular season.
I don't think they did.
I don't know if they've faced a front seven or an entire defense, frankly, like the Rams. They can get you in so many ways. They're able to rush the passer at all, in the box, whether you're on the edge rushers or Leonard Floyd or Von Miller. Unless they literally run screens all game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would think it has to be Cooper Kupp. But let's not forget. I mean, I talked about it before. The Bengals defense shut down the most prolific offense in the NFL, arguably one of the most prolific offenses in NFL history in the second half. I mean, they stepped up to the plate. And I don't think this is a reach to say that the Chiefs offense is better than the Rams.
No, that's not a reach at all.
There's a lot of speculation, but we won't know until it happens.
Cooper
we
Kupp
can speculate
or Jamar
all day.
Chase?
Yeah, answer the damn question.
God damn it. Oh, Cooper Kupp. I think it's going to be easier for him to have a day.
Yep, I agree with you. Anything else from either of you?
For the first virtual, well, I guess the second virtual pod.
Yeah.
I think it ran relatively smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And next week I'll have a microphone.
I think we finally got our system down too for the Zoom pods. So
perfect.
You're right.
And next week I'll have a microphone.
Yeah, you'll see it on YouTube. But you've been sitting like right in between Tiller and Miles this whole time. So
nestled right next to my boys.
Yep.
And I think we have to make this a requirement. You have to come up with a different Zoom background for every single episode.
I love it.
I can do that.
Like, I mean, Space, this one's just one of the standard Zoom ones, but you can import your own background, so you need to come up with your own.
I will bring the heaters.
Keep it, I'd say, PG, so we don't get kicked off YouTube.
Just do USC Trojans background.
Why would I ever do that?
To make me happy.
Let's do this. Let's make a bet. What should we do? If we make a bet, and we can make that like a punishment. If I lose a bet that we make, we haven't come up with a bet yet.
Let's just pick a game. We could do it right now. Let's pick a soccer game.
No.
Wait, let's do something we both don't know. I guess soccer, but we can discuss this later.
Okay.
Yes, we can. But different Zoom backgrounds every week. I think that should be a requirement. Just to spice up the life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that will conclude another spectacular episode of the Backburners. Shout out to the ugliest co-host of all time, virtual Pinhead Larry, the intern, and can we just make it official now?
Are we accepting him?
Yeah, sure. And the newest member and the third co-host, Miles Walton, and of course, our wonderful producer, Fabio. Make sure to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at the Backburners Pod and listen to us on your favorite streaming service. We're the Backburners, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip.